It's a big season.
Is this are we having a spoilery conversation or a non-spoilery conversation?
We'll go non-spoiler.
Okay.
We'll go non-spoiler. Usually I'd have a spoilery questions, but I think you've seen the season, obviously. I think a lot of it, the less you spoils, probably the better.
Okay, so we shouldn't talk about Michael and Chloe's wedding. We should not bring that up.
No.
Okay.
The honeymoon scenes are brilliant. I love the honeymoon.
I'm glad you brought it up. I know, right? Oh, they just really brought it.
And blowing up Kevin, we shouldn't talk about that either. Blowing up.
Oh man,
Lux, so much the fireworks when Lux blows up. Yeah, it's amazing. I feel like we should be very clear that Chloe and Michael don't get married, otherwise Twitter may explode. But I thought I'd go with this question, which I thought was kind of a nice little one. It's from Anna, and it says, is there a scene in 5B that when you were at the writer's room, you said, wait, are we going to do this? Yeah, we're going to do this, or cast will go crazy. Obviously, you can't spoil too much, but I'm sure you can tease. Was there any scenes when you were writing and discussing where you thought, can we actually do this?
I mean, I'd argue how many scenes did we feel that way? Because this was we were approaching it as our final season. So we were just like, let's do the things that we never felt like we could do, or that we were holding back because we wanted to save that story. So, I mean, Ildy, I feel I can think of a number off the top of my head where I'm like, we're doing it.
Me too. I keep thinking like, and well, there's one that has aired at the
DC Fandom.
The Fan Fest.
DC Fandom, yeah. DC
that was
Fandom.
The last time we spoke when that aired.
Yeah. So there's a lot of stuff in the musical that I kind of couldn't believe we did or got away with doing. I was like, can we possibly have everybody on a football field dancing together and to a Queen song? Like that was just insane. But there are a lot of emotional moments too, because like Joe said, we had no idea that wasn't our final season until we were in the middle of writing the season finale. And so we were like not precious about anything. We're like, let's burn it all.
It shows, because usually when an end date's coming, seasons just go all out. And the season, I'll say this, the season is amazing. It feels like a final season, but it has an ending that makes you go, ooh, season 6 kind of leads in a different direction, which will be very, very interesting to see. Obviously, I can't say too much for the finale, but I personally was worried when they said there'll be a season 6, and I knew you guys were going all out for season 5. But I think the finale is safe to say it does keep a lot of doors open for you to tell. Is it 10 more episodes in season 6? Yeah.
And by the way, we were worried too. Like, we were given the option in so many words, like, do you have a story worthy of this? Like, at least that's what we asked ourselves when they approached us about season 6. We were like, no, we want to stick the landing. We stuck the landing. We did it. And then we talked a ton. We talked to the writer's room a ton. And we're like, if we can find the story worthy of another season, but only then do we do it. And we didn't, but we did it anyways. So
we completely shot the bed. Can we say that? Yeah.
But I can guarantee on May 29th, you're going to be getting inundated of tweets saying, when is season 6 coming out? Or maybe even on May 28th, somehow everyone will get through all the episodes and be asking when the next season comes out.
Well, listen, Ildy and I, we are fans of the show as much as anyone else, and we try to approach it from a fan POV, which is, how do we make sure that this is a worthy story to keep telling and worthy of ending the show? So like we try to put ourselves in your guys' shoes as much as possible, because that's us. We love the show. It's a little embarrassing.
It is. It's annoying. Like, I think we annoy people, but it's true. Like, we definitely, people might have said at the time when we were offered generously season 6, why we didn't just go, yeah, because maybe we looked a little bit like, brats or something, going, well, wait a second. But we that's how much we respect and care about our show and our fans, and we didn't want to let them down, and we were so worried that we were going to like dribble out, and by the way, Tom and the cast, they felt the same way. That they were like, oh God, do we have something that can that can be worthy of another 10 episodes, and we found it. We think we found it.
Well, fingers crossed. I know you can't say anything more, but I think from what I've seen from 5B, you'll nail it for season 6, hands down. This is from the Bad News Fairy, which I think is a cool Twitter name. What Easter eggs from already released episodes have the fans yet to spot? Because you love dropping in little kind of hints of different things. Is there any Easter eggs we haven't spotted yet? Or let's twist it a little bit. Is there any Easter eggs we can look forward to in 5B?
I will say one thing. There's an Easter egg. There is a tease of what happens in 5B in the trailer that I haven't seen anyone notice. So
that's going to have a lot of theories talking about.
I'll text you, Ildy, what it is.
I was like, what is it?
I've searched, and I'm like, oh, no one noticed that. How interesting.
Right, I'm just going to load it now and have a look. So I'll be thinking, God, I've seen the season and maybe I haven't picked up on something. But that's interesting. I like that.
It's less of an Easter egg, but it's more of like, oh, if that's I wonder what that means story-wise. Just saying, guys, take a look.
Very interesting. I'm going to love all these theories coming out. I've got another question here from Sarah, and I like this question because it was actually something I wanted to ask. How would you describe the Lucifer and Trixie relationship in 5B? Because I think that was a really interesting part of 5B. I'm trying not to be too spoiler, but how would you describe the relationship in 5B?
Well, I'll say, I mean, of course, the addition of God, because he does come in at the end of 5A, so I think we know he's part of 5B, adds a whole new dynamic to everybody's relationship. And the one between Trixie and Lucifer is no different. I mean, it's sort of a three-pronged thing now, because God is part of their relationship.
It's so hard to talk about certain things.
It is. I hate it. Yeah.
That's Dancing Through the Raindrops. I loved it.
Thank you.
I will say, I think Scarlett is absolutely exceptional in the scenes that she has. There's one scene which I won't talk about, but you'll probably guess which scene I'm talking about, where she is just perfect. And I think even some well-trained, experienced actors would struggle with just how she portrays the character. I think is the best way of saying it.
I'm getting chills just thinking about it. Yeah, that was, I think you might be talking about a scene that's in the episode I directed, which is episode 9.
Yeah. I don't want to say more, but she's brilliant.
I was going to say, she had a good director.
Oh, right, yeah. I did nothing.
I don't know, like, I think that director's a bit of a pain at times. Yeah.
Such a taskmaster.
We'll talk about it later. It was, yeah.
Well, talking about characters, another question which somebody mentioned, which I think is very interesting how they worded this question as well, is by Marcia. Will Ella's darkness be explored in this season? Which I think is a very clever way of wording it, because that ties very much into Ella's character and her development this season.
Well, if as you've seen in the trailer, they are Ella does or God does seem to be telling someone about darkness and light, and who knows who that is, but it does seem to be in Ella's lab. So I think we have a pretty good guess who it is. And yeah, so much of it, it's so fun to play with these characters and stretch them to their breaking points and then see them regrow. And you know, Ella's arc, she was having a crisis of faith last season, and this is a crisis of self. She's looking at her darkness and facing it, and that is a big part of what we'll be exploring in 5B.
I'm a huge Ella fan. And
I'm laughing because Joe just texted me that what was in the trailer. I'm like, oh yeah, right.
Sneaky texting during the interview. That was impressive. I didn't notice that. It's not your first time.
Yeah, Joe's a very good multitasker. It's true.
Yeah, but I'm a huge Ella fan. I think Amy's absolutely brilliant. And obviously she seems, I've never met Amy before, but she seems like a bubbly character in real life. And to kind of have that dark side for Ella, I don't know if that's tough for her to do, or is it tough for you guys seeing such a happy-go-lucky person having to show this kind of darker side to themselves?
Well, it's funny because Amy's character and the character of Ella Lopez, I mean, when we very first started exploring, sort of a darker side or these darker elements of her character, we got warnings from everybody, and we kept ourselves in check, because we were like, do we want to do this to our happiest character, to our sort of, sunshine and roses character? We're like, that's not fair. And I think that's part of what we try to do in our show, is show that everybody has dark and light in them, everybody. And that a lot of times the characters or the people that we know that present the happiest face have some of the darkest hidden sides that they struggle with, because everybody thinks they're supposed to be, like happy all the time. And so I think that's what I love about her, is that she's not an unhappy character because she has dark feelings and dark thoughts. Like that's all of us.
Yeah, let's